Friends, our topic today is substation control wiring. This is a skill, a technique that's incredibly important if you're in the power system field, if you're an electrical engineer, or if you need to perform any type of field analysis, new commissioning or new installation. This skill is incredibly helpful. It's incredibly useful. This skill will set you apart from other engineers. So let's try to understand this skill and learn how control wiring works. Imagine a cable going from here to there. Okay? So this point here and this point here, these cables are multiple. Cables inside our panels, let's say this is location number 1 and this is location number 2. So from here, this cable will also go somewhere else to number 3. From here, another one will also go to number 4. Okay? So which location is this cable going to? Identifying that is very important when doing a full search, when we want to understand some techniques. Okay, if we don't find this location, we'll have to look at this 4, identify this 3, and define this 2 as well. We'll have to find it, okay? But let's say if we have this cable going from here, numbered in such a way that we know it's going to number 2, then it'll be very easy for us to identify this cable going to number 2. So there's a problem here identifying it. Do you understand? These very important ferrules inside our panels play a crucial role. So let's first talk about the CTPT. The CTPT is very important in our substation. CTs are used for current measurement and protection, as are short circuits and PTs. So the CT ferrules are numbered C, D, A, and B. These 4 ferrules with, you'll see, inside panels are we sell them at the udaw padaw padam at those and we ferrules. C is used for relays. C is used for earth relays. D is used for kisan or paturs. D is used for metering, and A is for differential relays or distance relays. David says, what are these relays? We'll discuss them in detail sometime. They're used inside differential transformers. Metering is used everywhere. We use overcurrent earthing in every feeder, every line. The B1 is used for bus bars. Bus bar protection is within this class, right? In bus bar protection, we have to feed the bus bar CT to it. It has to be fed for current measuring. So CD, AB, these are our current ferrules, CT ferrules. You can see them here in the drawing. Look, here it says D, here it says C, right? So these ferrules are placed according to each core of the CT so that we know that the metering wire doesn't accidentally go into the relay. The relay wire doesn't go into the differential, right? Because each core of the CT has a different function. It has a working principle. If we make this connection wrong, our relay will also operate incorrectly. So CTs are very important for relays and for measuring. So you have to remember the CT's ferrule, CD, AB. Any ferrule with CD, AB, you should instantly remember that it's a CT. Now let's talk about PT. PT is used for both measurement and protection. Okay? The PT's ferrule is E. It starts with E, for example. E1, E21. Okay? E31, E51. These are E-shaped ferrules. So E1, inside it is to be understood as R. The R phase is to be understood. 31 is to be understood as Y. E51 is to be understood as B phase. And E71 is to be understood as neutral. So PT also has RY and neutral inside it. So these 4 ferrules are its ferrules. It's for metering. This is used for metering. And the protection PT, its ferrules are like this: E21, E41, E61, and it starts 81. So here too, you have to understand that 21 means R, 41 means Y, 61 means P, and 81 is our neutral star. So within the PT2, there are very important ferrules. We have to remember that no matter which odd PT it is, its ferrule will start with E. Okay, whatever whatever that E is, you'll know it's PT. Right here in the drawing, you'll see that all the PTs are defined with E. AC circuits are also present in our systems within our panels. So the AC ferrule is H, where is AC used for bulbs, heaters, and our spring charge motors. They also need AC power, but when used in breakers and other such devices, they need. So H defines the AC circuit. All the ferrules with H, like H1 or H2, for example, are grounded. H1 represents ground, and H2 represents neutral. Both ground and neutral are needed in an AC supply. H1 and H2 indicate this is grounded and this is neutral. You can see this here. This is H2, this is H1. We also place a fuse inside each circuit so that if there's a problem with any of the circuits, the fuse will isolate the circuit. Again, this problem won't escalate and cause damage. Every circuit has a fuse. There's no fuse only in city circuits, because what happens in electric current is that high temperatures and high current flow. Okay, so it will melt. It's simple. We don't need a fuse there. We need fuses in AC circuits, DC circuits, and PT circuits as well and down. Because suppose a short circuit occurs, our fuse will blow and our circuit will be isolated from our system. So the nomenclature for AC, its identification of the ferroelectric element, begins with H. H. Okay. Okay. After that, the most important is the DC circuit. So we'll discuss all this in detail about the DC circuit. Right now, I'm just giving an overview so you know the numbering of the ferrules and which ferroelectric element defines what. Okay? We'll discuss the rest in detail when I make a video for each individual component. We'll discuss the entire nomenclature in detail. So in DC circuits, the main positive is defined by J, which is our main positive. Okay? So J1's ferroelectric numbering is like this, J1, and J2, so J1 is always positive and J2 is always negative. As I mentioned, every circuit has a fuse, so there is a fuse here too. After coming out of the fuse, this one becomes J3, and this one becomes J4. Both are the same, but what will come in between? The fuse is there so that if there is any problem, this fuse gets switched off. In DC circuits, we make separate circuits. Like there is an indication circuit, a protection circuit, right? There is a tripping circuit and an announcement circuit. Each circuit has a bus built in it. Because what happens in DC is that sometimes, suppose there is a problem in the lamp circuit or the indication lamp circuit, then only the fuse of that circuit will be isolated. The rest of our system will remain on. Do you understand? If we don't build this bus and provide a single DC supply for everyone, what will happen is that suppose a problem occurs, our entire protection will be isolated, bypassed, and our enunciation will also be bypassed. The fault lies elsewhere in the indication circuit. This will disable our protection system because what is our protection system on me? It's on DC, right? We don't have a protection system on AC because if a feeder trips in an AC substation, the AC supply will be cut off If the AC supply is cut off, our protection will also be cut off. So what do? We need to install it on DC. With battery backup, we can trip relays, breakers, etc. So the indication circuit starts with the ferroelectric element L, right? L1, L2, L4, L5, L7, anything with an L followed by a number is an indication circuit. It's the same annunciation circuit that alerts us to a hooter. An alarm sounds on our out panels indicating a fault. This operation has occurred. This relay has operated. How do we know that? Through the annunciation, through the labeling on the panels where each window is labeled, indicating a fault. This window is for this window is for that. Whenever an operation occurs, this window will blink and give us an alarm. An alarm. So we can easily tell if this is a type of fault. The Ferrule nomenclature for the L annunciation circuit is also wiring. It also starts with L, but the three digits here are 1001, L103, L55, L5. So the three digits after L are numbered, so you have to understand that these are the wires related to the annunciation. And here, where there's a one number after L, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you have to understand that these indication bulbs, the lamps that glow on the panel, are related to that. After that comes the protection circuit. This is the entire protection, right? It's also divided into different parts so that both of our tripping circuits are powered by different circuits, right? So tripping circuit 1 is a separate circuit and tripping circuit 2 is also a separate circuit. But the nomenclature of our entire protection system, its ferrule starts with K, right? K1, K2, K5, K3. So the wire that starts with K, the wire inside our panel with K, has to be understood as our closing tripping relay, right? It's related to that. It's not any other circuit than that. K stands for protection only. So if you see a wire marked with a K in the panel, you should understand that it's related to tripping. But this connection to the closing will do this. Okay? So the entire distribution circuit works with these ferrules. So the basics of our ferrules that I've shown you will make your work much easier because we need to know which wire shows what element. What does it identify? Let's say you have a wire going from here to here. It's marked with a K, the ferrule on the wire. Okay? It's numbered with a K. So what does this wire show you? Yes, okay, this closing is related to tripping protection. So you should understand this. It's very important to know this so that you can easily identify it, or if it's marked with a K, you can attend to the fault. You can understand it. Okay. You won't understand what this wire shows. So where do you find it? You won't even know which one or where it will go. Okay? So first of all, it's very important to understand what each wire ferrule shows us. What does it identify us with inside the panel? Okay? We'll make a detailed video on this. I'll keep adding more in my future videos so you can understand the wiring in full detail. I'll make a detailed video so you can understand every single thing inside the panels, breakers, CTs, PTs, transformers, every single piece of wiring in every single piece of equipment, every single substation. How is its nomenclature done? We'll make a detailed video about that. If you enjoyed this video and enjoyed it, please share it with your friends and colleagues. Okay? Keep learning, keep growing. If you have any doubts, you can leave them in the comments or email me at electricalfriendly.com. Thank you. Thank you very much.